Hey there, math extraordinaires. If you missed part 1 of how place value determines if a number is even or odd, you may click this box over here. If you're ready for round 2, let's come on in. Hopefully by now we have a better understanding of place value. So if I have a number like 134, I know that when I'm looking at the number, that digits and value are completely two different things. That in the number 134, even though there might be a 1 in the hundreds place, that doesn't mean that the number is 1. The value of the number is 100. So using that thinking, I'm going to break down the ones, tens, and hundreds place. And we're going to just do this like old school prove it style. And we're gonna see which place determines whether a number is even or whether a number is odd. And I'm gonna start off with the ones place because growing up, we've learned that 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8 are even numbers, and that 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 are odd numbers. But let's really go in depth into why. We've already know that in order to be an even number, you have to have, a number can be divided into 2 equal groups or divided evenly into groups of 2. So I'm going to take all these numbers and I'm going to divide them into 2 groups, and let's see if they're going to be even groups. If they're not even groups and we end up having 1 left over, that number is going to be odd. If we have even groups, then that number is going to be even. So the ones place, let's go. So 0 is a little tricky, but 0 can be seen as 2 groups of nothing. 1 whole nothing is 2 groups of nothing. And because it's 2 groups of nothing, that number is even. 1 plus 0. So when you're a 1, you automatically have the 1 left over. You have nothing else, so you're odd. 2, 1 plus 1. You're going to be even. 2 equal groups. 3, 2 plus 1. 1 group of 2, 1 group of 1. You can't divide that evenly. You have 1 left over if you tried. So that's odd. 4, 2 plus 2, even. 5, 3 plus 2, odd. Remembering I'm doing only 2 sets of numbers because it is, in fact, trying to split it into 2 different groups. 3 plus 3, 2 groups of 3, even. 7, 4 plus 3. Essentially, if I did 3 plus 1 left over, so no, odd. 8, 4 plus 4. We got it to be even, 2 groups of 4. And then we have 9, 5 plus 4. And 9 is in fact an odd number. As I can see that when I look at the ones place and I look at the ones, I have a very clear distinction at what is even and what is odd. So anything with a 0 is even, anything with a 1 in the ones place is odd, a 2 in the ones place is even, a 3 in the ones place is odd, a 4 in the ones place is even, a 5 on the ones place is odd, a 6 in the ones place is even, a 7 in the ones place is odd, an 8 in the ones place is even, and a 9 in the ones place is odd. So now that we did that, let's go on over and let's look at the tens. Two people walk into the grocery store looking for pears. Now that we've looked at the ones, let's look at the tens. So if I have a value of 10, if I have a number in the tens place, will it determine if a number is even or odd? Okay, so if I have a number 1 in the tens place, that represents 10. And 10 is 5 plus 5. So 10 is an even number. 20, if I have number 2 in the tens place, it would equal 20, and that is 10 plus 10. That's an even number. And if I show a number 3 in the tens place, that equals 30. 30 is 15 plus 15. If I have the number 4 in the tens place, that is 40. So that's 20 plus 20, so on and so forth. And what we can see is that any number that is a 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, is going to be even, and you can split it equally. Despite the idea that, okay, there's a 9 in the tens place, I know that the value 90 itself can be divided into 45 and 45. I'm not dividing the 9, I'm dividing the value of 90. And the value of 90 itself can be divided into 45 plus 45. So just based off of this proof, the tens place is not going to help us because all of these tens can be divided into 2 equal groups. And that doesn't tell you if a number is even or odd. So we've already explored the ones place, we explored the tens place. So far, the ones place is helping us determine if a number is even or odd. The tens place, we can split all of our tens into 2 groups. So anything that's a 10 can be split into 2 equal groups, which is even. So now let's look at the hundreds place. So remember, if a 1 is in the hundreds place, that doesn't mean 1, it means 100. The number 2 is in the hundreds place, it does not mean 2, it means 200. And if the number 3 is in the 100s place, it does not mean 3, it means that the value is 300. Alrighty? So when we're looking through, I noticed that the number 100 can be split into 50 plus 50. The number 200 can be split into 100 plus 100. The number 300 can be 150 plus 150. 400 is 200 plus 200. 500 is 250 plus 250, so on and so forth. So as I'm looking through these proofs and I'm trying it out, I'm noticing that everything that is 100 can also be split into 2 equal groups. On the next page, we're going to try some practice problems on determining if a number is even or odd based off of place value. And we're going to put all these ideas together. Okay, one more joke. Who turned my mic off? So let's try this out in practice. So is the number, our magic number of the day, 134? Is it even or is it odd? So I end up taking 134 and I put it into my little chart. It's an extra step that really helps me to think about it. So I know I have a 1 in the hundreds place, a 3 in the tens place, and a 4 in the ones place. So what does that mean? I take the number and I'll put it in expanded form. That means I have 100, 100, I have 3 tens, 30, and I have 4 ones, 4. So 100 plus 30 plus 4. Now that I have the values, I can take the values and I can split it into 2 equal groups in order to help me understand if this number, the whole number, is going to be even or odd. If I can split the whole number, the hundreds, the tens, and the ones into 2 equal groups, or divide them evenly into groups of 2, then I will have an even number. If I can't, and there's a leftover in one of the places, the ones place, then it's an odd number. So 100 is 50 plus 50. Okay. 30 is 15 plus 15. And 4 is 2 plus 2. I expanded it. I took each value and I split them into groups of 2, and I found out that there's no leftovers left. Because there's no leftovers in this number and everything could be divided evenly into 2 equal groups, I know this number is even. So are there any leftovers? No. 134 can be split into 2 equal groups of 67 or 67 groups of 2. How did I get 67? Well, the 50 plus 50, the 15 plus 15, the 2 plus 2. I look at this number. Here's my, wrong tool. This is my number. These are the 2 different groups. So I'm going to challenge you. Here's what I want you to do. And remember to pause this video afterwards and have you and your scholar try it out before seeing the answer on the next slide. Jack thinks the number 241 is even because it has a 2 in the hundreds place and a 4 in the tens place. Is he right? Try it out. So, did you get the answer? Well, when I think of the number 241, I can put it into my hundreds, tens, and ones chart. I have 2 hundreds, 4 tens, and 1 1. And in expanded form, that equals 200 plus 40 plus 1. So when I take 200 plus 40 plus 1, 200 can be divided into 100 plus 100. Okay, Jack. 40 can be divided into 20 plus 20. Okay, Jack. But when I get down to the 1, the number in the ones place, I have 1 plus 0, making one group 121 and another group 120. Because I don't have equal teams, I don't have an even amount in each group, this number is odd. If I tried to make even teams, 120 plus 120, I would have 1 left over. And because I have a leftover, it's going to be odd. So he's wrong. I can't split the number into 2 equal groups. I would get 121 in one group and 120 in the other. If I tried 120 plus 120, there would be 1 left over. The number is odd. And if I looked at the number 241, all I really would have to do is look at the ones place. And I know that the ones place has a 1 in it, and the 1 helps me determine that it's odd because the number in the ones place can't be split into 2 equal groups. In sum, if I take all of this and put it in sum into a review, the ones place helps determine if a number is even or odd. I'm not going to look at the hundreds place or the tens place to help me figure out if this number is even or odd. And there you have it, folks. Another day, another lesson learned. And if you really liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and meet me here, same bat time, same bat hour, ready to go with some more math.